Hello everyone, can you hear me? We are now finally ready to begin the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary livestream. This is the second livestream for the channel this year, which is really exciting. I am personally very excited for this. Hopefully you can all now see the game. I've got Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity loaded up, which I don't know if you can hear the game because it's not showing anything that's being heard, which is a little concerning, but hopefully things will stay on track. If you can't hear the game, please say in the chat so that I can fix it. But in the meantime, I guess I'll get on with one of the stages. Right, so I would like to discuss what I have done with the Zelda series, because it may be a surprise to know that I'm not actually I'm not like a long-time fan for the series. It's actually one of my most recently discovered interests. But the way I discovered it is just what really set me off. I really enjoyed it. Breath of the Wild, which is how I discovered this game, or not this game, this franchise, is my favourite game of all time and will probably always be. It was such an incredible experience, and I feel that there are so many games that could benefit from a style like Hyrule Warriors. Or not Hyrule Warriors, Breath of the Wild. We are about to lose this fight, but but yes, I was very excited when I learned that there would be a prequel coming out. And a sequel, of course. Of course, we got the sequel coming out soon. With... oh, what's it called? Oh my lord, why do they do so much damage? We got the prequel is here. That's what I'm playing now, actually. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And the sequel... news later this year. Maybe. If we're lucky, I guess. So that should be good. But in the meantime, we have got 2 Zelda projects coming out this year that we learned about in the Nintendo Direct on, I want to say Thursday, but it could have been Wednesday. So that was... those 2 are Skyward Sword HD and the incredible idea of having an expansion pass for this game. I don't know if it's obvious that I like this game. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is probably my favourite game that I played during 2020. As much as I enjoyed the Sword and Shield expansion pass, does that really count as a new game? Like, does it really count as a new game? I'm just going to say no. I'm going to say this game is my favourite game from 2020. I did start the game Okami HD, which gives this game a run for its money, I'm not going to lie. But so far, like, this game is probably my favourite because I love the characters in Breath of the Wild. The story, I know a lot of people give Breath of the Wild a lot of slack for its story, but I think that this game kind of made up for it. I'm not gonna say it didn't, because it really did. This game told us all the story that we were missing in Breath of the Wild. Everything that we see in the memories, we see happened here, only with a slight change, which kind of... I'm going to be honest. I wasn't the most happy about the fact that we got a slight change. It just didn't feel right to me. Because, like, what's the point of having a situation where everything's changing? Like, what's the point of making a prequel to Breath of the Wild, which ends up not being a prequel? That's what I don't get. That's my point about this whole thing. And it didn't end up being a prequel. It was marketed as a prequel, which it didn't end up being. But that's not to say I don't enjoy this game. Of course not. I really do, but I'm saying, and I've said since it came out, I probably would have preferred it should we have got the canon story, like the actual seeing the champions fail against fighting the Blight Ganons, seeing Link fall against whatever he fell against. Maybe it was a Guardian, maybe it was the canon version of Astor, maybe it was, who knows, we don't know. We just don't know. And that's kind of my thing. We need to know more. Because they didn't really tell us everything in Breath of the Wild. They didn't tell us much, even. They told us very little, in fact, I'd say. I'd go as far to say, yeah. And that was a shame. That was a shame. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was a shame. But I really enjoyed the story of Breath of the Wild. For my first Zelda game, it was a very good story. And I really enjoyed the battle against Calamity Ganon and a battle against all of the characters. Hi, Blizzard. It's been ages since we've actually done a live stream. Welcome to the chat. So, I mean, there's not much I can really say about, about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity without mentioning the fact that we are getting an expansion pass. We are getting the new expansion pass. We're getting Pura and Robbie. And I personally think it's also very likely that we're going to get Suga and Astor as well, because there were some parts of the code which hinted at them being playable characters in the future. Hey Skylar, nice for you to join us. Thank you very much. I think, if I'm completely honest, the thing I was most excited about in the expansion pass was the fact that we're getting new content, like new parts of the story, because that really, to me, could seem as if either they're gonna like kind of link it with Breath of the Wild sequel, or they're going to link it with the canon, which, if we get a canon Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, I would be so happy. I think Age of Calamity does a really great job at what it does, but it isn't the best at telling the true story, because yes, it gives us the details of some of what happened, but we have to take everything with a grain of salt, because Terrako coming back through time changed everything, and I don't think that's really explored enough in Age of Calamity, and that we don't see the canon of what happened. I will be honest, what my favourite part of seeing was probably seeing when in the mission King's Escort, you can actually go to the Temple of Time before it was destroyed and see things like the 3 temples worshipping Furore, Neidru, is it Neidru and Nehru, I think, and Din, which, oh my god, that was an awesome, like, just seeing it before it was destroyed. It was my main thing about Hyrule Warriors that I was so looking forward to. Oh, thank you very, very much, Skylar. I'm very glad you're listening. You're enjoying listening to me. The thing I will say about Hyrule Warriors that I didn't enjoy was that, we didn't get to do much exploring. And I was understanding that would be the case. I knew it would be what happened because this isn't a Breath of the Wild game. It's a Hyrule Warriors. But I missed it a bit. I kind of missed... I wanted to see everything before it was destroyed. And I kind of hope that somehow they find a way to do that in Breath of the Wild 2. Because I would be majorly impressed. I would just be so happy to see the truth and to see what it's like. Because this world is so unexplored to the extent where I think that not enough is being done with the previous Hyrule. But I think can be explored. I think it can easily be expanded on to the point where people would enjoy it. People would enjoy seeing it and just exploring it. Hello, Lael. It's been ages. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for enjoying the stream. Well, I say it's been ages. It's been, well, can't have been that long. Just before the stream, actually, I think. But yeah, now Skyward Sword. My opinions on Skyward Sword are mixed. I haven't played the game personally. Breath of the Wild is currently the only mainline Zelda game I've played. The only reason I'm holding off on getting the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is just simply because, we don't know if we're going to get like a Super Mario 3D All-Stars for Zelda, which I would love to see that. I would definitely get that. But if we do, then there's no point in me getting the 3DS versions because they're just going to be not the newest versions. I can get it on the Switch. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting for here. But hopefully it'll all just be worked out. And we'll find out what's going on very soon. I think we are scheduled for more Breath of the Wild 2 news very soon. Skyward Sword, I'm definitely going to get that. I need to play a more traditional Zelda game than to what I have played at the moment with just Breath of the Wild. And so I think playing Skyward Sword would be a good, kind of a bridge game. Because as Aonuma said in the Direct, that was the game that had a lot of the features, but just smaller. But introduced it almost to Breath of the Wild, like they were expanded on in Breath of the Wild. And, obviously I'm not expecting a full open exploration game because that's not what any of the Zelda games prior to Breath of the Wild were. And I know that, and I'm fully expecting that. And so it's going to be a very different experience, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless. And when I do play it actually comes out not too long after my birthday, which is exciting. But I think I'll have to prioritise the Sinnoh remakes should they be announced this week for my birthday. I'm not going to lie about that. But I would definitely like to play Skyward Sword when it comes out. I know there are some mixed opinions when it comes to Skyward Sword. The boss design is apparently very controversial. And like some of the features, but I feel that if it's a game that I can enjoy and that I can play without feeling like it's as bad as, I don't know, a good example of what would be a bad game to play. If it's not as bad as Super Mario 3D World compared to Super Mario Odyssey, which, that's not to hate on 3D World. I enjoyed 3D World, or as much as I've played of it so far. But I think that I think it'll be fun. I'm hoping that it's fun because, you know, I have high expectations for this game, and I'm just hoping that Nintendo can meet them. I kind of feel that the game could do with like maybe a Breath of the Wild mode, similar to how not Mario Odyssey, 3D World had the Odyssey-like Bowser's Fury as an additional mode when it came to the Switch. I feel that Skyward Sword HD could definitely do with like a Breath of the Wild mode, like a I don't know, maybe you get to explore a new land or some like the original Hyrule before like just after Skyloft has descended and it has been announced as Hyrule. I don't know. But that's kind of what I would like to see from the game. And also, thank you, Skylar. I appreciate that. I appreciate your comments. It makes me feel very, very much more confident because this is my first time solo streaming, and you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking. This is also my first time actually doing gameplay on the channel. I was going to do some Pokemon Masters back in October, but that had to get cancelled because of a certain event, but I can't talk about that. But anyway, I feel that this game, Hyrule Warriors, is one of the most fun games I've played, just simply because there's so much of it that's to enjoy. Like, a lot of it is just very enjoyable. And I feel that with this game, with everything that it's done, I feel that there's a lot more potential with this expansion pass than even with the Sword and Shield expansion pass. As good as the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra are, they kind of felt like their own separate thing. And this one has much more of a feeling, or not much more of a feeling, much more of a potential, I feel, to be as good as it can. I think that it definitely, I think the word that I'm looking for here is probably, there is a lot more of a story to tell. With Sword and Shield, the way that they told the story kind of made it hard for them to, if they wanted to like go and expand on it, because it's not like there was a story that we were missed out on. There was just no story for the first 3/4 of the game. With this game, we are seeing a story, at least, which, I mean, we're seeing a story, and while it's not canon to the actual Breath of the Wild timeline, it definitely could be if they expanded it on the expansion pass, which that would just be great. That would be absolutely great if they could just expand everything with the expansion pass. Right, where's the Lionel? I feel that they could do a canon version with the expansion pass. I don't think they will. I'm going to level with you. My idea for a Hyrule Warriors expansion pass, because I always think about things like this. Like, what could they do to expand, or what could they do? Like, when a game gets announced, I always think, oh, what's the story they could tell here? And so my always thought was, oh, we could see like a Breath of the Wild mode with an Age of Calamity expansion pass, which I would absolutely be hyped for. I would be so excited to see like a Breath of the Wild mode. I know it's not going to happen because obviously we would know about it. And so I'm not like expecting it, but I would love it if they did. If they got the actual Zelda team to develop it, if they got this world to truly feel like Breath of the Wild. And that's the important part, I feel. And so that's, in my opinion, what the expansion pass can do. I also feel that there are things that the expansion pass needs to do, but can't necessarily. I mean, there are things that I feel need a bit more explanation. Maybe like explaining who Astor is really, like where does he come from? What's he got to do with anything? But I mean, it would be interesting to see that, but I don't think we're necessarily going to get a prequel to the prequel. And so I don't think it's likely as much as I want it. But, you know, I can only hope. Also, can we talk about how this game has some of the most awesome secret characters in this, like, for this kind of game? The Monk Mazcosia, I was not expecting Monk Mazcosia to show up, but I am so glad that he did. Monk Mazcosia is one of my, was one of the most awesome characters for me in Breath of the Wild, because he was just so unique. He was his own character. But I feel that kind of, like, it's so awesome to actually play as him rather than just have to fight against him as a trial, which is just a unique concept. And the Great Fairies, I was also really not expecting the Great Fairies. No, that is not a zebra. That is a Lionel, a silver Lionel to be exact, which is terrifying. But you know, we're not going to be able to take this thing down. I think that this game and like the Great Fairies being put in the game, that was a really cool addition. Even if I wasn't like expecting it, I feel like it kind of made sense. Like, it wasn't like something that I was expecting not to happen. I knew they'd show up somewhere in the game because, like, how could they not? They were some important characters in Breath of the Wild. And there we go. Right, let's see. Retry. What happens now? Silver line. Okay, so we go straight to the silver lines, do we? Great. Okay, I'm going the wrong direction. Now, let's talk about where I want the series to go. Breath of the Wild 2 is going to feature the return of Ganondorf. Obviously, we've known this since the launch trailer. Well, not launch trailer, reveal trailer. I am so excited for that, because that'll probably be, unless like we do get like an Ocarina of Time on the Switch, then that will be my first time facing Ganondorf. Why do I keep going in the wrong direction? Maybe I should play as one of the other characters. I feel that would be something that that's something that most players face. The first time facing Ganondorf is like one of their most nerve-wracking but at the same time exciting experiences. Ganondorf is obviously the main villain of the series. Like, how could you... So it feels interesting that we haven't actually at all seen them in this game. Like, in Breath of the Wild, nor in Age of Calamity did we see them at all. And that was, to me, really interesting, because it was actually, we learn now that it was just Malice. It was just Malice that was the Calamity. And it seems that that's not entirely the case with the Calamity in this game, because that is also partially Astor, fused with the Harbinger Ganon, which was his own version of Terrico. And so, yeah. Which I think, if I'm completely honest, I feel that the way they handled the time travel in this game was perfect. I think that they did it, oh my lord, so well. And it worked. But at the same time, do I think that this game will impact Breath of the Wild 2? I don't know. I think there will definitely be... They can't ignore it. That I will say. Like, we know that at least the four champions, like, the four champion descendants, Sidon, Riju, Tiba, and Yunobo, are all going to have to surely mention this game. Because, like, how could they not? They've just been teleported back to this game. And so surely they have to mention something about, yeah, we met the champions. Sorry, chat. I can see your messages, but I can't necessarily always respond to them because, you know, I'm trying to play a game, trying to talk. Lael, Pyro Sky, Skylar, thank you for all coming to the stream. I'm so grateful you guys are here. Thank you for supporting. I would just like to say thank you to all of you. Because, you know, you guys have been there for me through a hell of a lot. And it just means so much to me that you guys are now also coming and joining me for my streams. Oh no, Boast is about to die. I would like to say also that the fact that we have got another 2 live streams in addition to this one planned for this month, which, bear in mind, we only have a week left in this month, and that is Pokemon Week. And so, you know, that's quite exciting. We have the stream on Pokemon Day, which is obviously going to be my first Pokemon stream, which is going to be a bit nerve-wracking. But I'm really excited for it, because of course I am. And then we have got the Ninjago, the Island stream on the 28th. That's only if it comes out in English. Is it going to be on the 28th? I can't necessarily promise that's coming on the 28th, but I can say it's coming as soon as I see it in English, which I think is the 28th, but I'm not entirely sure. It might be because I know it's coming out in Canada on the 7th of March, so it could be, well, for me, the 8th of March. So yeah, it could be a bit later. But still, as soon as it comes out in English and I've seen it, I will be streaming for it, and I will hopefully have the cast back, the cast who joined me for the 10th anniversary live stream, which will be exciting. And hopefully, this isn't confirmed, but hopefully Louise will be able to join us this time as well. And maybe other people will come and join us as well, which would be lovely. Right then, there we go. Finally. Only took us, 16 minutes. And we are well into the stream, and we have done some battling through through one that I haven't actually beaten before, which is fun. Oh look, we get the Radiant equipment. What I really like about this game is that you can actually customize Link in the same way you could customize him in Breath of the Wild. Like, almost all of the same gear returns. Not entirely sure if the ancient gear returns. I haven't seen it yet. But like that's the gear that I have my Link in Breath of the Wild. And so that would be fun to hear. Or fun to see even. So used to talking about remasters and remixes. I hope you guys are enjoying the remasters and remixes. Or I'm not actually doing remixes at the moment, but still. I am going to be doing some more remasters soon. In fact, there's actually one every single day this week, which is super exciting because I don't think I've ever done one. Well, no. I have obviously done daily uploads before, but I'm not entirely sure how daily the previous ones were compared to now. Which is really exciting because I'm just so excited to be able to have a situation where I can do daily uploads and do more interesting uploads. I may not get the most views, I may not get the most subscribers, but if I'm doing something I enjoy, then that's what matters to me most, really. But anyway, more on the Zelda news. I'm sure that there will be more Zelda videos at some point, because this is the first time I've even discussed Zelda on the channel. But, I really enjoyed it. To be fair, I haven't uploaded many commentary videos since then. But what's important to me is that that this whole situation has allowed me, this live stream is allowing me to talk more about Zelda, and that hopefully I'll be able to do it more often now, because I want to be able to talk about Breath of the Wild 2 news when it comes out. I want to maybe stream some Skyward Sword HD and some more Age of Calamity. We will switch over to Breath of the Wild in a bit, possibly, if you guys want to. But I think the most important thing for me about having Zelda being the third pillar of the channel, quote unquote, is that it just gives me a real broad amount of content that I can create. I can talk about Pokemon. I can talk about Ninjago, which, dear Lord, the 3 people in the chat know I love to talk about Ninjago. And obviously, I really enjoy talking about Zelda as well, because I don't get to do that as much, because I just don't know, I don't know as many Zelda fans as much. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Like, I'm still getting the chance to enjoy myself by playing it. I think, funny story, let's talk about my Age of Calamity experience. I was so excited for this game. I pre-ordered this game. And so then, obviously, I pre-ordered it from Amazon because, you know, we're currently in a pandemic. It's a bit hard to order things from other places. Like, it's a bit harder for me to get things from Game, for instance, which is the UK video game store. But I ended up getting it from Amazon. And so on the Friday, I was just waiting. I was just thinking, okay, when's it going to come? Like, when's it going to arrive? Because I was looking forward to this a long time. I was in the sitting room playing it was either Crown Tundra or Breath of the Wild for most of that day. But then I get the message from Amazon to say, oh, your thing's been lost in transit. And that wasn't fun. That wasn't fun. I was reasonably upset. Like, I was very upset about that. But then we had a situation where I ended up having to actually go and, like, I had to wait until Saturday. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it just felt like a massive deal because, like, all of these spoiler videos for the game, everything was coming out, everything was being revealed, like, you know. It was disappointing, but, I still got to enjoy the game. I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy Age of Calamity. And yes, Skylar and Perisky, you are right. Ninjago is very great. And that is why we discuss it on the channel. Ninjago is a great series. Shame it's taken a bit of a downfall since season 11, but season 13 and even season 12, to be fair, picked up that slack. Picked up that slack entirely. And I think the Unknown Island is going to do exactly what I need and just go back to that Sons of Garmadon, March the Oni kind of time. But anyway, enough Ninjago. This is Zelda stream. It's been 35 years. That is so surprising. To think that the first ever open world game, I think it's the first ever open world game, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the first ever open world game was released 35 years ago today for the NES, or I believe, I don't know whether it released in Japan first. I think this is probably the Japanese anniversary for the Famicom. But, it was so awesome to think that a game like, if you think about it, Breath of the Wild, but slightly less established, like, came out 35 years ago. That's crazy to think about, because not even 25 years ago, well, 25 years ago, no, just under a week, Pokémon, one of the most linear games, I hate to say it, one of the most linear games, came out. And so if they can already do, open world by then, why couldn't they have done it for Pokemon? Why can't they still do it for Pokemon? I know they're talking about it now. Obviously, it's to do with handheld, but still. I think it's just incredible to think about. But then, obviously, it became a more linear experience during... Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, that kind of time era. Because the first game was just so confusing. But then Breath of the Wild changed everything. And it was incredible. It is still, to me, one of the best games, or not just one of, it's my favourite game of all time. Probably will be for a very long time. And, you know, I can't think of a game better to really get excited about. And I think, if I'm completely honest, the upcoming game, Skyward Sword HD, that game is interesting to be their headliner for Zelda 35. I am honestly, I don't know if appalled is the right word, because I don't think Nintendo have really handled this very well. I'm a bit upset that Super Mario 35 got loads of these different accolades, all of these different kind of things. But we didn't even get a situation where, like, we haven't even got any news that's big for Zelda yet. We've got Skyward Sword HD, yes. Equivalent that to our Bowser's Fury Super Mario 3D World. That's fine. Where's our Super Mario 3D All-Stars? Like, we need a Legend of Zelda pack. Like, can we have the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess? That would be an awesome one to have both of those. Please give me just one moment. And I'm back, which is lots of fun. Let's find out what we can do. Okay, I want to talk about the Divine Beast missions in Age of Calamity, because these are some of the best missions in this game. Like, these are so much fun. You just kill everything. And it's... I know that sounds like a really morbid thing to say, but, like, you have to see where I'm coming from here, because these games just... They do it so well to have a situation where you could basically just have every single game, like every single game in the series, well, not every single game, every single mission being the same thing would be really boring. But having it like this, where, you know, we have a situation more so where there are, where there are more varied missions. Even ones like these are easier because you just kill everything and it's a lot easier to do, but not at the expense of being boring, if you get what I mean. Like, it's not like everything dies super easily. That is not what happens. What happens is that, you know, we have the Guardians, we have these different enemies, and it's a lot of fun. I have to be honest, how Hyrule survived when it's got these Guardians running about is a complete mystery to me. For the two of you that are still here, first of all, thank you for sticking around. But second of all, I just want to mention now that this game, while it's not the mainline game for the Zelda series, you know, you still get a lot of the mainline action that you would get in a normal Zelda series game. And I think that it's... like, you actually get more battles. I think... I never played the original Hyrule Warriors. I can't really comment on how good it was or anything like that. The only thing I can really comment on are the fact that this game is just so much fun, because you have these varied missions. You've got the Divine Beasts. You've got the many different just the different kind of battles against the different enemies. You have introduction of new, really important characters, which is something that I was not expecting to have. Well, I say I wasn't expecting to have. As soon as the trailer came showing them, obviously, I was expecting them to show up because, well, they were in the trailer. But my point more is that it was just so surprising that for the first time, characters that could actually have an impact on Zelda's story were introduced in a side game. And that had never been done before, as far as I'm aware. And that's what makes it really exciting to me. Like, Astor, Suga, they may not be everyone's favourite characters. They're certainly mine. But, like, they are, you have to admit that they are interesting. And that's kind of the point. Like, I feel. Right, okay, we have 5 more Guardians to kill. Let's kill them. Also, I love how the four champions now have their champion assistants as the secondary pilots. It kind of reminds me of the story I'm writing for... Like, I'm writing a fan novel for Ninjago. I revealed that in the 10th anniversary livestream. And it actually features the champions from Breath of the Wild. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But you kind of need to know a bit about the game. And there are a few bits which people are not going to understand. But, that's for me to explain. And having the ninja be the secondary pilots. And while I know there's only 4 champions, I find a way to make that work. I'm sorry to any of the Cole, Lloyd, and Zane fans. Sorry. That's all I'm going to say. Because I know you're all going to be really mad at me come this whole thing. Right. We've got some... And that's fun. Also, thank you for sticking around, Skylar. I really do appreciate it. Now, we need to go find some Lizalfos to fight. Where can we find Lizalfos? I know we can find them in the... there's a Lizalfos infestation one, isn't there? If you don't know, I'm trying to complete this game, because I haven't done it yet. I've been putting it off. Because part of what I do with this game is I actually record the soundtrack and upload it to SoundCloud to my Umbreon Tunes HWAOC account. I haven't uploaded a new theme for a while, but I have. I will be recording it now that my Switch is back in my room, back with the software, which is fine, which is good. So that should be all fun. The only other thing that I can think of that I would need the Switch in the room for is for the Pokemon stream. Because I'll probably play some Sword and Shield during the stream. Right, where are the Lizalfos? I know there's a mission called Lizalfos Infestation somewhere. Now, if there are any, long-time Zelda fans that could tell me how similar this game is to, or not this game specifically, Breath of the Wild is, to previous Zelda games, I'd love to know, because I'm really interested. Because obviously Breath of the Wild was a massive change to the formula. But, it's a lot better than, it's a lot, I would say, a higher quality game than the ones I've seen. But that might just be me biased and having not played, the other games. Oh my lord, we've done 97 side missions. Now, I wonder, when the November release of the expansion pass comes out, will it be main story missions or side missions? Because we haven't been told yet. Personally, I think it's going to be main story, but I could be wrong. I am so excited for Pura and Robbie, though. I wonder how they're going to fight, because, Pura I can see... I could have seen using the Sheikah Slate before Zelda got it. But Robbie... They could find, like, maybe he invents the ancient arrow or something. He becomes like a strictly bow user or something, like Rivali or Tiba. Or maybe like he invents the ancient blade saw. Personally, I think he should invent like an ancient cannon or something, like a gunner or something. Because we do not have enough of those in this game. This should be fairly easy. Like, the recommended level is 5. And I did it before the game even came out. When I was playing the demo. Yes, the demo came out for a month before. A month before the game. I remember, actually, the trailer for the Divine Beast battles, and then the demo came out on that day. In that, I was out somewhere. I don't know where. Obviously, I won't say even if I did remember. I was out somewhere with my family, and I saw this, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, because that had also happened to be the day, if I remember correctly, that the November update for Pokemon Masters had data mined. So it wasn't the big data mine drop for me, because if you don't know what the big data mine drop is for Pokemon Masters for me, then let's just say late September, the October update leaked, and a lot changed for me about me. But you know, this one leaked, and I was excited for it because it's a Pokemon Masters update. Who's not excited for a Pokemon Masters update if you're me? And so I feel that the fact that those both happened on the same day is really awesome, and it gave me a lot to do. Actually, it gave me a lot to do, because while I haven't actually made a data mine video until my current one, which is not my current one, my recent one, which is the one back in late January. God, has it already almost been a month? That's terrifying. But I have got one coming out when we get the data mine drop, which is most likely on Wednesday morning for me here in the UK, or Tuesday evening over in the States. Which, I mean, fine, like, you do you, DNA. Obviously, we're getting the announcement of the Master Sync pair, cough cough, Leon, but, you know, actually, I say cough cough Leon, we're not entirely sure whether the leaks are true. Like, we could have been completely duped. I don't think we have been. I think this is definitely true, most likely. But I don't think the text leaks are either. Movesets on the text leak are fake. I'm saying it now. They are not going to make both Iris and Diantha Hyper Beam units. But anyway, more on this game. I remember when the first trailer came out, I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. This game looked to be everything that I needed, if I'm honest. I personally feel that this game lived up to the potential I saw in it, except for the fact that we didn't get the same truth. There was no truly... There was no truth to it. There was no actual... This is not what actually happened in the timeline of Breath of the Wild, because the calamity actually happens during Breath of the Wild. But, you know, it's still... This game just blows me away. It blew me away with the story. And in fact, I feel that the time is right to... What game? Hang on, what are we going to do? First of all, let's level up our... I want to say sync pairs, but it's not sync pairs. Our characters. Let's get Mifa up to... no, I don't have the money to be able to get these characters up. So we'll just have to go for it. Let's do Calamity Strikes, because I like that level. Now this is interesting because in Breath of the Wild's timeline, Zelda actually gets to the Spring of Wisdom, fails before Calamity returns. But to make more action, or if I just skip through this, to make more action, they did this. Not this, but like in a minute. These two characters are coming to be playable in the game in a couple of months, and I'm so excited about it. Like that's so exciting. Also, this was really exciting to me. I don't know why. That was interesting to me. Also interesting to note is the is that it's actually revealed. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't been able to finish all the Terracotta parts. That the Suga, the second in command of the Yiga clan, doesn't actually die, which is really exciting to me because he's one of my favorite characters. Wow. Now this was a surprise. Also, yeah, don't mind that I've used the winter clothes for Zelda. Now, my personal theory is still that King Rome had something to do with the Calamity. I personally think he's the leader of the Yiga clan more than Koga, but that's just my opinion. Sorry if you can hear my Joy-Cons buzzing against the table. I was genuinely not expecting this to happen. Because in Breath of the Wild, they're all together. Also, this explains why the towers are down in Breath of the Wild. We assume that this is the same, that this canon stays the same, we assume. Because there are some parts of this which, like, minor details are canon, but the major events that happen aren't. On a broader scale, they are, but they aren't, in actuality, canon. Now, the main story of this game was so awesome. As much as I wanted a canon story, I cannot tell you how much I beamed when I saw the 4 champion descendants. Like, it was so exciting. Also, the music for this game. Like, you can't fault it. This music is incredible. Honestly, this music rivals, like, Pokemon Sword and Shield and all the other Pokemon titles for best music, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Now, if you have any questions about, like, me, what I plan to do with Zelda or anything like that, or any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. I would love to be able to answer them while I'm here. But also, I'll just do a shameless promo right now. I have a Twitter page. If you don't follow me on Twitter, be sure to, because I post a lot of fun content there, as many of the people who are watching this will know. I say many people, there's 2 people watching the stream. Now, this is only my second live stream, my first time doing it on my own. A bit terrified, but, you know, I am looking forward to the Pokemon Day 1. Kite will be joining me again, which is fun. And we are hoping that a couple other people will be joining me. But if anybody wants to join, let me know on Twitter or on Discord. I would love to have as many people as we can for the Pokemon Day 1. But then on the next Ninjago one, should be back to all the cast. Hopefully, Louise, and Ghost Reaper should be able to show up. I'm not entirely sure though, because obviously we don't know when it is, and I haven't heard from them. But we'll get all the details for that sorted out before the live stream, whenever it is. But hopefully, again, still hoping for the 28th, but that just depends on whether they decide to broadcast it in English. Which, let's be honest, this is like the people who broadcast Ninjago we're talking about. Do they remember that Air Ninjago was something that people talked about for a long time and still talk about to this day? Ninjago just does not get the kind of attention that it deserves from Cartoon Network, from all of the people who air it. Lego have done a fairly good job, especially this year. I think they've done a fairly good job. I don't think they've done enough, but I think a fairly good job. I don't like, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't like the way that Lego handled all of the 20, like, you can give us 230, you can give it, not 230, 215 episodes, 15 11-minute episode seasons, or 2 8-episode long, like, rebooted length series a year, for every year, except the 10th anniversary, and I don't get it. That's what I don't understand. Now, we are getting a March the Only style episode for the island, I believe. I think it's actually 4 smaller episodes if the broadcasting on Canada is to go by. But effectively, it's just going to be another 45-minute special for Ninjago, even though, like, come on, 45 minutes? That's 2 episodes. And yes, I'm going by the 22-minute episode standard, because there's no way I'm ever going to admit that the 11 episodes are okay, because they're not. Did I really just waste that? Well, thank you, Skylar. Hands of Time. Do you mean Ocarina of Time? Because Hands of Time, I can only think of Ninjago Hands of Time at the moment. But if you mean Ocarina of Time, I haven't. Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity are the only Zelda games I've played. But I intend to play Ocarina of Time at some point fairly soon. As long, like, if they're coming to the Switch, or 2, if they're not coming to the Switch this year, I'll get them on the 3DS. But if you do mean Zelda Hands of Time, I'm not entirely sure what that is. Like, it just feels like, if it's a Ninjago Zelda mashup and I haven't played it, then there's something wrong with me. Oh my god, I'd love to see that. Like, maybe in this game, having, like, Jay and Nia and the other ninja running about. That would be so awesome. Nobody's going to argue with me with that. But yeah. I think that this game perfectly illustrates, like, why is it so much easier to defeat, like, Guardians and Lionels in this game? Because I was able to defeat 2 Silver Lionels earlier at the same time. I'm able to defeat a Guardian without using an Ancient Arrow now. I can't do that in Breath of the Wild. There's no way I can do that in Breath of the Wild. But, yeah. Also, can we talk about how they use the unused concept, well, not the unused concept, but the left out part of Hyrule Castle, the Great Hall in this game, which is so awesome to me. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Am I going the wrong way? No, I'm not. The Great Hall, because that is one of the greatest unused concept from this game. Well, not from this game, from Breath of the Wild, but was used in this game. And that's kind of what I like. They actually used the concept art from Creating a Champion, also known as the Masterworks, to actually create this game. And I thought that was so awesome, because I actually got Creating a Champion for Christmas, which I was so happy about. But I think that there are so many unanswered questions that, you know, there's from hang on, where was I? Masterworks, yes. There's so many like things that they couldn't really have done without having the Zelda series just... Well, no, without... In this game, I feel that they have not really done anything wrong with the world design. They use the concepts from the games. They use well, not from the games, from the Masterworks. They explain that it's all because, you know, that's what this game was. This game was the original, well, not the original, the prequel to the game, and so obviously they're going to use the concepts from it that weren't used because it was for a destroyed Hyrule. And that's what I found so awesome, that they actually decided, instead of just creating everything from scratch, they used a basis, and it felt right. I'm sorry if I got slightly lost then a moment ago, but you know, my headphones just kind of turned off for no good reason whatsoever. But whatever, I will roll with it for now. I hope you're all enjoying the stream. Please let me know, because if there's any way I can improve the stream, if you can't hear the game audio or something like that, let me know and I will do everything in my power to fix it. Now, what am I expecting from Zelda this year? I'm expecting not much other than what's been announced. I'm expecting some Breath of the Wild 2 news. I'm not expecting much other than Skyward Sword HD and the expansion pass for this game, which, can we talk about the way that they revealed the expansion pass was so disappointing. I think the fact that it's just not really it wasn't put with the Skyward Sword HD, wasn't put with any of the other important information. It wasn't like a major headline or anything like that. When the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass, which I'm not saying that it shouldn't have, but like, why didn't the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity one get this? You know, an entire direct to itself. As much as I enjoy Sword and Shield and the expansion pass, this game should have been revealed when our Numa showed up, because he was the one to reveal this game itself. Like, he was the first person who, back in September, told us, can't tell you much about Breath of the Wild 2, but, you know, Age of Calamity's coming instead. And that was exciting for me. I really enjoy this game. I honestly, I'll be honest, like with many things in my life, I wasn't entirely sure it was going to be for me when it was first announced. But I found, like, when I actually played the game, God, it was so much fun. There was just no way I couldn't buy it. It's one of my favourite games of all time now. It's not my favourite game of all time, because that's what Breath of the Wild does, but it's a prequel to my favourite game of all time, so of course I'm going to love it. Right, we should probably escape from Hyrule Castle. I think that this game does exactly what it needed to do to be a good prequel, even at the expense of not having like the canon ending, because it had to have a happy ending, because this isn't like an 18 game, even though there is a sequel available, you know, which does have a happy ending, or well, happy middle ending, because we haven't actually had the ending yet. Do I think we're ever going to get like more in the Breath of the Wild series? I sure hope so. Because this game and Breath of the Wild are some great games. If there's then, I don't know, Breath of the Wild 2 is a great game, we could see like a Breath of the Wild 3 or a Breath of the Wild 4, which, you know, that would be awesome. That would be all I could actually want from this game. But, you know, obviously they're going to move on at some point. Even if I wish they didn't. Because why change something that isn't broken? Or, you know, why change the possibly... I think it's the best selling... it's probably the best selling Zelda game of all time. Also, I just want to say, I know it's not Pokemon stream, but still, how is Sword and Shield some of the best selling Pokemon games? That is... I have mixed feelings about that. Of course I want Pokemon to do well. Of course I do. But Sword and Shield, I really enjoyed those games. But they're not good. Like, that's not really like, that's me saying there needs to be a change. But if this is what sells, they're not going to change anything. They think they can probably put anything out and people will still buy it. And that's the thing. There was such a big controversy for Sword and Shield, and it became the third best-selling Pokemon game of all time. The best-selling since the 1990s. And that has a massive audacity. Like, that's... It's... I don't know. It's really weird. But they'll do what they can do. Oh my god. Have I not got any of the Koroks? Like, I have not got many Koroks at all. Do I want to do that yet? Or do I want to spend it on something else? Hang on. That needs 9 trophies, and that needs... Hang on. Key swings. Can I buy key swings? I hope that the Pokemon team decide that, you know, actually we are going to put some effort into the games for the long-time fans, because I feel that the long-time fans are the ones who've been sorely forgotten not too long ago. But the way they see it, it's probably completely different. Anyway, we've unlocked something new for King Rome. Yes, if you haven't played this game and you have a Switch and you have some interest in The Legend of Zelda, play this game. Because while you may not enjoy, you will probably enjoy the Hyrule Warriors style. You might not, it's not for everyone. I know that. But it's so much fun that it's so hard, not to really enjoy it, I'd say. I think even if you don't enjoy it, or enjoy that gameplay style, you'll still enjoy this game because of its story, or because of the many other aspects that it has to it. You get to see the characters interact. There's so much. And it's so good. I love this game. I don't know if that's obvious. We've been streaming for how long now? I'm trying to think. Since I got on, it must have been about an hour now. I think it's been an hour and 20 minutes or so. Which is lovely. We've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. And thank you all for joining me on the stream, because it's so incredible. This isn't going to be a stream as long as the Ninjago stream, because that one started at 7:30. No, not 7. No, this one started at 7:30. That one started at 5:30, I think. It was an early one, and it lasted 3 hours. This one, I think, might go on till, I want to say, maybe 9:15, maybe 9:30. But now, for now, we are going to end on Age of Calamity and head over to my main save file in Breath of the Wild. Does it really surprise any of you who are still watching here what my recently played games are? Skylar, thank you for joining us. It's okay that you have to go. That's absolutely fine. And thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Right. My favourite game of all time. I haven't played it in it's not like I haven't played it in ages, but I haven't played it in a while because I think I've played it since Grand Tundra, but I can't remember. And here we go. Oh god, it feels weird seeing it all in the white and the black now because I'm so used to all the Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Age of Calamity style. It's a shame I can't hear anything, but here we are in the Hebra Mountains. Oh, we're gonna take this on right now, aren't we? Oh god, that's not good. I have a nice broadsword. Let's see whether we can take down a Frostellus. Oh good lord, this is not a good start. That is very not a good start. Yeah, I think maybe not. Let's head over instead to Rito Village. Can I just check you can all hear the game audio? If you can you please let me know in the chat? So we just got kind of defeated there. But anyway. Ah yes. The Cass and his children, I assume? I can't remember. Now, I will be honest, I did not play this game when it first came out because I didn't get a Switch until mid-2018 when Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were coming out. Part of me regrets getting a Switch for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, not that I regret getting the Switch, of course not, but for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? I'm not fans of those games. Like, I was one of the big, like, supporters, like, it's not going to be as bad as you think. Game Freak have it in them to make it so good. But then it hit me when the games came out and I enjoyed playing through the first time. Then I got to the post game and there was nothing to do other than refight gym leaders every day. That I just didn't enjoy it. And I realise now that it's probably one of the worst in the series. Probably the worst in the series, if I'm honest. The only thing that I can think of as a redeeming quality is that Archer of Team Rocket, who previously only appeared in not Breath of the Wild, in Heart Gold Soul Silver, finally came back for the first time, which was so awesome because that kind of confirms that yes, he was the guy in the Sevi Islands back in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Not that it was that surprising. But anyway, on a more Breath of the Wild note, I got this game because my brother got this game back in late 2018, early 2019. And he didn't enjoy it, so he just let it sit for a while. And when he was about to sell it, I asked him if I could try it. And when I did, God, I really just enjoyed it to an extent that I hadn't really enjoyed a game before, because I'd never played an open world game until now, and that's what kind of made it important. It felt more like a game that I was truly experiencing for myself. Like, it felt like my own adventure. All the Pokemon games, you take the same path, you do the same things. The only thing that's different is the team that you have and how you handle the battle or something. But with these games, like, everything's different. And that's what I find important. And I think that's part of why I enjoy these games so much. And honestly, I'm gonna level with you all here. Link in this game specifically is like so easy to control, especially when compared to like the characters in, like, I don't know, what's a good example? Well, I'd say probably Mario and like previous Mario games, and even Link in some other Zelda games. Like, so much easier to control. But also, I have my gripes. I have my gripes with this game. Of course, I have my gripes. I have my gripes with everything. One of them is called the Blood Moon. I get why it needs to happen. I get that. But can we turn it off? Like, can't we have a feature where we don't want the enemies to come back and it's just like a peaceful experience, or at least just have like a, like, even if it's just a separate mode, like a peaceful mode, just so you can explore without having to worry of a Bokoblin or the Yiga clan attacking. And like the Yiga clan, they were intimidating for the first part of Breath of the Wild when we saw them without Koga. We saw Koga, they immediately lost their intimidation factor. Age of Calamity brought that intimidation factor back so hard with Suga and with Astor. Two of my favourite characters in the series. Astor is possibly one of the most well-written Zelda villains, in my opinion. And before you say I've only played Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, I have still seen the other Zelda games. Like, I know what happens. I've seen playthroughs of them. Specifically, Point Crow. If you guys don't know who Point Crow is, great streamer. Breath of the Wild, I'm super fan. Did playthroughs of, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, and I actually really enjoyed them. And that's like kind of what makes me want to play Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker at some point. But I think that honestly, Astor is a really well written villain. His goals are so interesting, but at the same time, we don't know enough about why he's like this. And we also don't know whether he actually had any part to play in the canon events. I think it would be interesting to learn if he did anything towards the canon. Like, could he have been the person kind of responsible for Calamity Ganon, for what's another good example? Like for all the stuff that he does in Breath of the Wild, but in Age of Calamity, but the versions that happen in Breath of the Wild. And I think that's kind of, for me, I think that he probably did. I definitely don't think that they're going to have this character who is introduced in Age of Calamity be completely non-existent in Breath of the Wild. And so part of me thinks he and Suga are going to be the ones that show up in Breath of the Wild 2 instead of Koga, because Koga died, supposedly, in Breath of the Wild. And therefore, it's more likely that we're going to see Suga and Astor and see that they're the ones who are serving Ganondorf in Breath of the Wild 2, which was going to be a lot of fun, actually, because, Breath of the Wild 2 has massive, massive potential But I don't think... there's a chance it could just not realise it. Anyway, we have been streaming for an hour and a half. And I think that that is a good time to call off the stream. Thank you all for joining me so much today. I thank you all. I really do appreciate it. But I am going to have to say goodbye now. Thank you all very much. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. And if you have anything to say, please just let me know. And any feedback, I love receiving feedback because I just want to know how I can make things better. So thank you all so much for joining me. And I'll see you soon.